Rare again, 10 families planning funerals. So how do we make sense of this? Joining us, Dr. Victoria Kelly, UT psychiatrist, UTMC professor and director of the UT General Psychiatry Residency Program. And Doctor, thanks for joining us again. As I said, just 3 months removed from Parkland, Florida. How do we explain this one tonight to our kids?
Right. I mean, this is absolutely a horrible tragedy, and I don't believe that there's an easy explanation. I think the key thing in a moment of tragedy and the aftermath is that we really have to make sure that the survivors are taken care of, that their needs are met at that moment of crisis. So as a parent, a caregiver, a teacher in that setting, the priority is going to be that they have the ability to express themselves, their thoughts, their fears. As a parent or caregiver, your responsibility in that moment is to let them have a safe place to talk, to vent, to share their experience. That's pretty key. You also want to make sure that after it has calmed down a little bit, that you don't focus and blame one particular population, that you use it perhaps as a point to educate on discrimination and some other factors, but the real issue isn't one factor often in these tragedies like this. Yeah. And you want to also set a good example. And that may sound a bit odd, but as a parent, you want them to see you be able to deal with something stressful. So by all means, a parent will feel confused, will be crying, be very upset, and that is okay if your child sees you behave in that way, as long as you then demonstrate that you take care of yourself, that you are able to turn it around and perhaps do something good in the outcome afterward.
Dr. Kelly, I'm thinking about Eric Harris, Dylan Klebold, Columbine, Adam Lanza, Newtown, Nicholas Cruz, Parkland, Florida. This suspect today described as a 17-year-old young white man or teenager. What can you explain about the suspects that tend to be, or the shooters in these mass school shootings tend to be young white males?
I think in general, in the United States, it's pretty well known that we have difficulties with that in general. Even other groups, the kinds of individuals and children, teenagers, young men that the terrorist and radical organizations would target would be the exact similar type that experiences toxic masculinity. So very often they may feel alienated, feel disgruntled, have a sense of entitlement, and that is what separates this from what would be a true mental illness, because those types of things are not characteristic of someone who's suffering from depression. All
right, Dr. Kelly, thanks very much. And we do encourage people, if they're feeling traumatized by this tonight, to go to the National Child Traumatic Stress Network. You can find it online. And Dr. Kelly, thanks once again for joining us. We do appreciate it.